welcome back to episode 3 of the Pokemon Go show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Today it is just me, Kate. Shelby had a lot to do this week. She started grad school this week and she was at school basically from 8 to 8 already this week, so she couldn't join us this week, but she will be back next week. So next week we will be releasing our episode on Saturday, as this episode was also released on Saturday. Still trying to figure out a definite day where we will release. That will be the best day for us to record and have edited in the same day. It'll probably be released the day after that. So we're still working through that. Thank you guys for being patient. Thank you guys for also being patient about where our podcast was available. So it was only available on YouTube for the longest time. We were still trying to figure out how to get it on iTunes and Google Play. Well, the wait is over, finally. We are now on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. You can subscribe on whichever of those works best for you. We would really appreciate it. I know those platforms are a lot easier for you guys to listen to, so that's why we were working hard to make it available on those. It was a long process, but we finally got everything figured out, and so they'll be available on those platforms from now on. We'll still post it on YouTube. I like doing things on YouTube. I'm going to do card postings on the channel every week, so those will be on YouTube as well. Because I think I have a good time doing that. And I don't know, before I buy the TCG cards, I like to kind of see the cards in the boxes, in the sets, and I like to see kind of the pull ratio before I feel like I'm just going to go waste money, or if I feel like I'm going to go make a good investment. So that's why I like doing those. Alright, so enough of that. We're going to get on to this past week. I know Shelby didn't really have a lot of time to play this week. She didn't really have anything catch-wise that I think stood out above the rest. She didn't have time to go get a Regirock. I think she's on stage 1 of the Celebi Quest because she really didn't have any time this week to go out and play, with it being the first week of school. But I, however, did get out and I grinded for the new Dex entries that I was missing. I hit it somewhat hard for Celebi. So first, I got Spinda this week. I was driving somewhere and I Go Plussed a Pokestop, and when I got to where I was going, I checked back and it was the Spinda Quest, the 3 curveballs. So I was super excited about that. And then, so I got my Spinda. I forget what IV it is. I don't really care about IVs as much, I guess. Well, especially it being a Spinda, I don't really care if it's perfect or not. Probably not ever going to power it up. I was really glad to get that. I've been looking for that stop for a while. I was also wanting to get Regirock in the Dex, and I did that. I did 1 Regirock raid and caught that guy. It was, I think, low 70s IV-wise, so not great. I probably will get back out and try to get a better one. But Shelby and I moved back to our town where we go to college, and it just has a much better raiding community. So that also really helps by getting legendaries. I don't really raid a ton when I'm at home for the summer, but being back in town, I really try to get out and go. I didn't use any premium raid passes this summer at all, I don't think, besides like the raid trade days. But being on a college campus, we have like, I don't know, maybe 12 gyms that you can walk to within 10 minutes. So there's a lot of temptation to use lots of raid passes. So I have to think about what I want, what I need, what can give me the most rewards, I guess, to decide what I want to go hunt for. So I got the Regirock. I'll be trying to get a better one, even though I really don't care for the Reggies that much, as I have mentioned before. I did also do an Alolan Marowak raid. This was my first Alolan Marowak, so anytime I see those and there's enough people, I'll definitely do those raids, because I really like the way Alolan Marowak looks. I think he looks awesome in the game, and it's just a fun guy to have. and trade. I don't know, if people in different areas maybe can't get them as easily, that would be a good trade Pokemon to have. So I might stock up on that and have a couple in case anybody wants to trade that. So my Celebi Quest, I got behind a day. It was stage 2, I think, where you have to catch 3 Pokemon in a row. I got behind one day there. But besides that, I have gone through it as fast as I could. I'm on stage 4 right now. I guess I could technically be on stage 6. Yeah, 6 if I had walked a little extra. But I'm pretty happy with where I am. Obviously, I won't get Celebi within the next week, but we're gonna get into that later in the show. And my highlight of the week, some of you may have seen on Twitter, I caught a shiny Pineco. I got this from a research quest, and honestly, I was speechless for a good 10 seconds. I could not believe that I had actually gotten a shiny Pineco, because I feel like Pineco is probably the most rare, at least in my area, from this wave of new shinies, and I didn't think I would get one because my shiny luck is not that great. I feel like, yeah, I was super pleased with that. And I don't know if I want to leave it as a shiny Pineco or evolve it to a shiny Fortress. So if you guys have any recommendations, definitely let me know. I was stunned, definitely stunned. That was like my catch of the, besides the shiny Roselia and my perfect Kyogre, that was like one of my catches of my Pokemon training history. So that was super awesome this week. So it was a good week. I feel like I got a lot done. I like having something to work towards with the Celebi, with having to get new things in the Pokedex. So I'm excited when Gen 4 rolls around because I feel like that'll be a new incentive to get out there and grind for some more things. Alright, so now let's dive into the Celebi Quest a little further. We're going to talk about some of the stages, so if you don't know the future stages and you don't want it to be spoiled, maybe skip ahead a little bit. I have a tip for stage 4. When I got to stage 4, I'd seen ahead of time because I kind of wanted to be prepared, I guess. I thought I was going to wait and just let it be a surprise, but then it was all over Twitter, and my curiosity, I couldn't resist. So for stage 4, for stage 4, you have to evolve an Eevee into Espeon and walk an Eevee 10 kilometers. So I had already been walking a shiny Eevee from the Eevee Community Day, and I wanted it to be an Espeon specifically. So I went ahead and evolved that to see if it would work, and that one worked. So if you want to go ahead and be prepared on that one, you can go ahead and walk an Eevee the 10 kilometers to where as soon as you hit that quest, you can evolve it during the daytime, and you will get an Eevee, or an Espeon rather, and that will count towards your quest. But if you walk, say, 10, or even if you've walked it for 50 kilometers, that won't count towards walking 10 kilometers with Eevee as your buddy. You're going to have to do that one fresh. So you can't really be prepared ahead of time on that one, but you can have an Eevee ready to be evolved into an Espeon if you want to kind of speed that one along. But talking about speeding the quest along, I know for Mew, it was easy to speed run it, and there were some people that did it in a matter of hours, and then there were also some people that did it over months. And I think that just depends on your style of play, how much time you have, I guess, to put into the game. But the point was, it was easy to do quickly. Like, there wasn't anything that kept you from completing it. There weren't any time requirements. And this time around with Celebi, we're seeing time requirements. Like, the first one being you have to catch a Pokemon 3 days in a row. And then in stage 6, I believe it's you have to spin a Pokestop for 7 days in a row. So this one is not necessarily able to be speedrun. So it's kind of limiting the players who want to be able to speedrun. And I feel like there's been a lot more negativity that I've seen about this because people wanted to speedrun it, and I feel like Well, I'll just go ahead and we had a listener question, Hero Killa. Thank you for asking this question. It was a great question. He asked, how do you feel about the waiting steps in the Celebi Quest? I personally would rather have a really hard quest than one 3-day wait or one 7-day wait. It would be more fun for me if it was like catch 100 Pokemon. So I would agree. I would like to have the option to be able to go through it quickly. And because, I mean, if you want to do it quickly, you can. Or if you want to take your time, you can. I think a lot of players are a little annoyed with the fact that there are time requirements. I think it kind of takes a little bit of the hype away. Um, it's honestly a little bit frustrating because you can do 2 of the steps, but then the other one takes 3 days or 7 days. When you're wanting to grind it out pretty fast, that's kind of a long wait. I mean, figuratively. If you want to do it fast, then yeah, that's kind of a while. And it's not like you can really do too much for the quest in the meantime. Like once you do the other 2 tasks, then you're done and you just have to wait the rest of however many days you have left. So I think it takes a little bit of the hype away, and I guess it limits the style of doing the quests. It takes that fast option out of it. I don't know if they wanted to kind of stall, Niantic wanted to kind of stall their content, or they just wanted people to do it slower and maybe somehow enjoy it more. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, because I could enjoy it just as much by doing it quickly and like remembering it as a grind session that took me, I played for 10 hours in a row, but I got that Celebi. So I agree with Hero Killa. I would rather there be challenging tasks, or a little like there could be time consuming tasks that don't have a time window, like catching 100 Pokemon, trading 100 Pokemon. So yes, it will take a little bit of time, but it's not limited to time itself. Like it doesn't. It's not for sure going to take 3 days. Like it may take some people 3 days. It may take some people 3 hours. I think it would be more enjoyable if each player got to determine how long that quest lasted for them. Just because I know for some people, and for me personally, it's kind of frustrating when the length of the quest is not necessarily in your control. So I would agree with Hero Killer. It's just I would rather it be able to be speed run and maybe still have challenging tasks, but challenging, doable tasks that can be done at a player's own speed. So in talking about Celebi, unfortunately, Celebi is not very great in the meta. So Celebi is a grass and psychic type with no grass moves, but it has Charge Beam, which is an electric move, as one of its fast moves. So Celebi's stats are pretty well rounded, so its attack, defense, HP, or stamina will be all about the same. None of them kind of outweigh the other, but it's not a top tier attacker defender. It's not really current in the meta game, which is pretty unfortunate considering it's a mythical legendary, but maybe they'll buff the stats one day. Who knows? Also, when PvP or if there's a gym rework, they could change the stats entirely and it could be incredible. We don't know, but as of right now, it's not really that much of a superstar. But I would say one thing it can be used against, you can use it as a psychic attacker against Machamp if you're doing a Machamp raid. So it's not just useless, it's not just a collector's piece. Alright, so now let's move into our news of the week. We surprisingly have a lot of news this week. I guess not so surprisingly, but let's see, we have like 6 little things. Okay, so first, the Johto Festival. We have been given an end to the Johto Festival. So the Johto Festival ends August 28th at 1 p.m. Pacific. We have, let's see, either 3 or 4 more days, depending on when you're listening to this, or less, for all the increased Gen 2 spawns. And if you are trying to get one of the shinies that is in this wave, your best chance is probably during this festival, unless it just happens to spawn a lot. So get out there, get grinding for those shinies, because we only have a few more days left. Alright, and we also found out this week that Entei is going to be the September month for field research. So Like this month was Raikou. Next month is going to be Entei. So the 7-day streak of completing field research tasks, you'll be able to encounter an Entei. So depending on how many Raikou you caught this month, you'll be able to catch about between 4 and 5 Entei, depending on how your field research kind of lines up. So Entei will first be available on September 1st after 1 p.m. Pacific until September 30th, the end of the month. It's only so far going to be available through your 7-day encounter for field research. It is actually, this one's just like Raikou. It's a very, very good legendary. It's very useful. It's one of the strongest fire types currently in the game, so I would definitely get out and try to make sure you get as many as possible as these guys, especially if you don't have 100% or a high IV one. This would be a good opportunity until it comes back as your raid boss, which we don't know when that will be. So the CP range that you're going to want to look out for is between 1265 at its lowest in the encounter to 1447 is a 100% level 15, I think it is. I think it's at level 15. And the best moves you want for any Entei that you have, Fire Spin and Overheat are the best possible moves, fire type moves for Entei. Yeah, get out there and get as many as you can, because this is a really good field research. Alright, some more news. There has been evidence that silver pineapples are in the game. They are a reward for one of the Celebi Quest stages. I don't remember exactly which one. I think it's stage 6. So no one has this yet because you have to do 7 Pokestops in a row. But one of the rewards is a silver pineapple, which is a brand new berry. And it, according to GoHub, it says that it has roughly combined the effects of a pineapple berry and a raspberry. So you get double candy and a 1.8 times increase in catch rate. So this berry is like a catch-all berry, I guess. It's the only berry I think that we have that's like a dual advantage. So yeah, you double the candy and you have a greater chance. Yeah, so it's like a less risky pineapple berry. Alright, sorry, just processing it as I talk about it. GoHub also compiled a bit of data to see how it compares to the other berries currently in the game. So the silver pineapple is like the pineapple and then it doubles your candy. No other berry does that. And then the catch rate bonus. So if you use a regular raspberry, you have a 1.5% increase in being able to catch the Pokemon. A silver pineapple, you have 1.8, and a golden raz, you have 2.5. So it's not as effective as helping you catch as a golden raz, but it's better than a regular raspberry, and you get the benefits of a regular pineapple. So I think this could be essentially, this and the golden raz are like the berries that you really want and you really want to use. I wonder how we will get silver pineapples in the game, if it's going to be like golden raspberries, like only available through certain quests or only available through raids. I don't know, we'll have to look out for that. I think in the Celebi Quest, I think you only get 5, I believe, for completing that stage. So that alone makes me think they're going to be kind of rare, but like we've seen with golden razes, they tend to stack up if you do a lot of raids, so maybe these will be able to stack up. But then that also could be a negative because it takes up backspace. So I don't know, we'll see. The drop rate that we get, how obtainable it is, and seemingly how effective it is. But I like this. I like the introduction of new berries. I like that they do different things, and I think that we're going to see more berries coming out in the game that do even more cool things. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the silver pineapple. Another thing I'm super excited about is to end the Johto Festival, we are going to have a Ho-Oh Day, August 27th. Alright, so you guys should have gotten an in-game notification about Ho-Oh returning for a legendary Johto week. And it says, attention trainers, for a limited time only until August 27th. Oh, so it's not just the 27th. So until August 27th, the legendary Pokemon Ho-Oh is returning to raid battles. This will be your chance to end Johto Week with a surprise, as you might encounter its shiny form. Awesome. I think this is a really cool way to end the festival. It gives everybody another chance to go out and get a shiny ho. I don't have a shiny ho, so I'm going to be trying to get a shiny ho from this event in particular. Yeah, I think it's a really fun, and I think it's really good because it balances out the tier 5 with the lack of interest in doing Regirock raids already. I think this is a really good way to get out and have people keep raiding for tier 5. I'm really excited about this, and I definitely will be looking for that shiny ho. This is one that I definitely want a shiny for. And I feel like you do have greater odds for shiny legendaries. I think it's about 1 in 20. So yeah, Shelby has a shiny Articuno, which I'm very jealous of. So yeah, I like it when Niantic throws in these surprises. I think this is a great way to end the festival. I'm really excited about it. A lot is happening this week. I want to keep working on Celebi, and I want to get a shiny ho-oh. Those are my goals this week. All right. So for the next little bit of news, we have a slight raid boss shakeup. So Tangela is no longer available in Tier 3 raids or any raids, which not quite sure why, because Tangela was probably one of the best raids that, I don't know, I feel like one of the best that we had in this wave, because you could save up candies to get Tangrowth, which could be the best grass type attacker. So not really sure why that happened, because it was only a raid boss for a few days, I think. So not really sure about that. But I did see Ursaring is a new raid boss. I don't really know what tier, but I guess it replaced it at 3. Seems like it would be a tier 3 raid. But all the other raid bosses appear to be still out there. So I think it's really weird how they took Tangela out. But just a heads up, if you're looking for Tangela raids, you're not going to find it because they took it out for some reason. Not really sure why, but I guess that's Niantic. They just do things sometimes and no one really knows. Um, Speaking of Niantic doing things that no one really knows, the Niantic Kids issue. So I think you have to be 13, you have to be logged in as a 13 or higher to be able to participate in trading, have friends, and yeah, just be able to participate in the friends and trading system. So Niantic put out, and there have been a lot of complaints because kids can't receive gifts, they can't trade, but then now with the Celebi Quest, they can't even get a Celebi because some of the quests involve trading and opening gifts, sending gifts, and they're not able to do that because they they didn't meet the requirement. So Niantic sent out a press release, and it says children will soon have a new way to log into Pokemon Go. Niantic Kids, powered by Super Awesome, is a new login platform that will be available to support kid trainers in Pokemon Go. Parents can register with Niantic Kids to manage their child's privacy via the parent portal. Niantic Kids will help you review and approve your child's permissions before they can play and provide options to control the personal information shared in Pokemon Go. The experience has been developed in conjunction with Super Awesome Kids website, blah, blah, blah. If your child currently uses the Pokemon Trainer Club access to Pokemon Go, this login will still be supported alongside Niantic Kids and also ensures that your child's information remains secure. You can continue to enjoy the game with your family in a way that suits you. So this sounds great, and it is great. It's a great thing. I think that if you want your kids to be able to trade and have friends, that they should be allowed to, but I think it's good that parents can monitor that. However, that is going forward. So kids that already have an account will still not be able to trade until they turn 13 by the date they registered their account. And I think that is a big problem that Niantic needs to fix because, yeah, I mean, it's good that they're putting out a way for parents to be able to control it on new accounts, but they need to be able to control it on old accounts so that the kids will be able to get Celebi. And, I mean, yeah, just to get Celebi, that alone, they're literally not able to get a Celebi. And they can't trade for one because they can't trade. And Celebi so far is not obtainable any other way. So I think that is something that Niantic definitely needs to address. I don't know anyone personally affected by this issue, but I think it really stinks, and I just hope the Niantic addresses it. I think just for fairness of the game, and then if parents still don't want their kids to trade or have friends, like that's totally up to the parents. But I think that they need to have the option to be able to allow their kids to play the game in a way that they're not able to play it currently. So that pretty much wraps up our news for the week. We had a good bit of news to cover this week. And so now we're going to move into our questions and shoutouts. We already talked about Hero Killer's question in the Celebi Quest section, but we have another question given to us by Pokemon Go Radio. Shout out to them. Great question. They ask, what is more important to you, PvP or the current gym system, but an updated combat system? This is a really good question. It's one that I've been thinking about, and I'm going to try to keep it brief. So I think that the current gym system needs to be fixed before PvP can be its best. I think they need to modify the gym system to be a turn-based system, so it's not just, you're doing your thing, but then the computer automatically battles back for an opponent. I think that would interfere with how long Pokemon stay in gyms, because if you don't fight back or don't defend, when the attack happens, I don't know how they could handle that. But it would just need to be a complete overhaul to be a more turn-based system. That's kind of more like the games anyway. So I think that needs to be taken care of first, and then PvP, it can just be set up to where it's a turn-based system, and it's, I guess, what you're used to. And then I think PvP will be just kind of structured that way as well. And that's how PvP functions. It's a turn-based system. I really want to see PvP first, but I don't think PvP will be its best until the gym system has an overhaul. So Niantic said that we're going to get PvP by the end of the year, so I'm hoping that we're also going to get a gym rework before that, so that PvP will be its best, because I'm fearful. I think a lot of people just don't want them to get PvP wrong. In a sense, I feel like I would rather it come out later, but be the best it can be, rather than come out rushed. So I would rather have PvP, but I think the gym system rework needs to happen first. So thank you guys thanks for asking these questions. It really makes the show more interactive. We really like having these questions to think about and to answer. And we'd like to give you guys shout outs for these questions and for interacting with us. It's always such a fun time on Twitter. I like getting to know you guys a little bit more. Shelby does too. We like getting to know you guys a little bit more, and seeing how your game is going, seeing what shinies you're getting, seeing if you're getting perfect IVs, just keeping up with the community. So we want to shout out this week Hero Killer, Chris, Terry Wolf, Pokemon Go Radio, and Meta Podcast Go. Meta Podcast Go, they have a dope sticker giveaway. So go check them out on Twitter, and you could win some of their stickers with their logo on it. They're super, super cool. And Pokemon Go Radio, also thank you again for asking that question. They are also, Meta Podcast Go and Pokemon Go Radio are fellow podcasts that you definitely need to check out. They're both awesome. I love to listen to them every week. They're a great time. You should definitely go check them out and subscribe over to them, because they're both really fun. Both podcasts, they're very knowledgeable about what they're talking about. They bring you all the news of the week. They're just great. Go check them out. Take my word for it. And also, so this week we are doing our first community trainer. It's like a highlight of a trainer in our community, so you can get to know him or her a little bit better, see how they play, community trainer feature is the one and only Terry Wolf. So Terry wrote into us and said he's on Team Valor and he's level 40 times 3. Whew, I could only imagine. I'm level 40 times, I don't know, nowhere near that. So, hardcore player. He says, I like grinding. I have over 110,000 catches. I also try to raid as much as I can. I run my local Discord and love the community of the game. I am also very involved with the podcast community. That was a great first community trainer. Thank you so much, Terry, for hitting us up on Twitter and sharing a little bit about your style of play. All right, so kind of to wrap up the show, some goals for this week. I would like to hit up those shiny, or hit up the Ho-Oh raids in hopes of getting a shiny Ho-Oh, and then hit the Celebi Quest as hard as possible until getting hit by a time restraint. So yeah, it'll be a busy week. It'll be a fun week. We've got a lot of things happening throughout this week. I'm sure Niantic will drop a whole lot more news on us. So we'll catch you guys next week. We'll try to keep you filled in on Twitter. Keep tweeting us if you have any questions throughout the week. You try to answer them before the show. If you want to show us your shinies, your perfect catches, your new shiny Ho-Ohs, anything, just hit us up on Twitter. We really love interacting with the community, and Twitter is probably the best way to get a hold of us. That's our preferred method of communication, I guess. So hit us up at Pokemon Go Show 1. You can also check us out on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast that way. You can also check out our card openings. Those are a good time. And then you can also check us out and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or SoundCloud. We would really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.